Cool. This is Belgian cyclocross sensation Wout van Aert's Colnago Prestige cyclocross bike. First impressions, stealth black, looks fast and has the advantage that if it's really muddy, it's going to hide that mud a little bit better. So let's start with the frame and forks. So the Colnago Prestige bike is interesting in that it has this feature here. Not many other cross frames have that, and what that does is that kind of eases the burden on your shoulders, makes things a bit easier to carry when you're running for long distances in muddy or sandy races. Apart from that, the clearances and everything else are pretty standard. It's a cantilever brake frame. Van Aert does have disc brake bikes too, but seems to prefer these for the most part at the moment. Moving on from the frame, let's take a look at the group set. So he's actually on the bog standard, although it's top of the range, it's not really standard, SRAM Red 22, and that's including a double chainset, not something we see very often in cross. Most SRAM-sponsored cross riders are now preferring the single ring setup. And interestingly for me, on that chainset, he's actually running 36/46. So I can't imagine he uses a 36 too often, but just goes to show that compact chainsets are okay. The crank length is 172.5mm, so pretty standard for a guy of Van Aert's height. Cassette is an 11 through to 28, so big range there, but again, that's what we see road riders using, and cross riders have been using that sort of range for ages. The rear mech is just the standard SRAM Red 22 rear mech. Pedals are Time Atac XC pedals. Most SRAM sponsored riders actually go for Shimano pedals. It's just Shimano seems to be the standard for cross riders, so it's interesting to see Van Aert and his team go for those. Away from the shifting into the braking, first impressions on these, they are just buttery smooth. I personally never managed to get cantilever brakes to feel quite that good, quite that direct. He's using the sealed cables throughout, which is going to save his mechanics quite a lot of work, especially in the wet and muddy races. It just means that dirt won't accumulate and wear the cables out. Things are going to keep running much more smoothly throughout. The brakes are Avid Shorty Ultimate. Now, let's look at controls. So, bar and stem is using the FSA Plasma integrated bar and stem. And now, the thing about that is, it's something that you perhaps used to seeing on road bikes more than cross bikes. You might think it needs the extra strength for a cross bike, but carbon bars, stems, seat posts have been used in Paris-Roubaix for a long time now, so if they can take that, they can definitely take the abuse that Van Aert is going to put it through on a cross bike. Not sure the aero benefit's going to help him too much when he's plugging through the mud, but cool bit of kit, nice bit of choice. Seat post is an FSA SL-K carbon seat post, and that's topped off by a Prologo saddle. I think my favourite thing about cross bikes are wheels and tubs. I just love them. And Van Aert has got great ZIPP 303 wheels. They're the Firecrest rim bed, which means they're slightly wider, so the wider cross tubs sit really well with them, which wider tubs tend to roll a little faster and you get more grip and you can run them at different pressures, so big benefit for Van Aert there. And the tubs he's using are the Dugast Pipisquallo tubular tyres. So they have the side tread here, which is from the Dugast Rhino to give a bit of extra grip in the corners, and the centre tread is this file, which is from the Dugast Pipistrello, so a file tread is just for super fast, super dry courses, sandy, mud-based courses. With the equipment choices covered, let's go for some vital statistics. First up, I want to look at tyre width. So Van Aert's tyre width has come out at 32.74mm according to my possibly accurate vernier calipers. What does that mean? Well, it means that Dugast have pretty much got it spot on when they call these 33, which is unusual. The interesting thing about Van Aert's position for me is this almost road-like saddle to bar drop. Perhaps has aerodynamic benefits, but stands out in a discipline where riders often have higher handlebars. Last thing, bike weight. So Van Aert's cyclocross bike, which has slightly heavier equipment, comes in at a super light 6.8 kilograms. And yeah, fantastic bike. Light, looks fast, goes very fast. If you'd like to see more cyclocross pro bikes, we have got plenty for you on GCN. Click right there. And if you'd like to see some cyclocross how-to videos, just click down there. Finally, to subscribe to GCN, just click on Ernesto Colnago's signature right here.